Good morning and welcome to NYSE TV Live. I'm Remy Blair. It's Wednesday, January 10th, and one company is in the spotlight here at the exchange as it celebrates a significant milestone. UMH Properties, a public equity real estate investment trust, will be ringing the opening bell in honor of its 55th anniversary. To celebrate the occasion, we have UMH branding all over this iconic building, from the cubes behind me above the trading floor. UMH CEO and President Sam Landy will ring the opening bell and open up the U.S. equity markets. Before we dive into UMH and its decorated history here at the New York Stock Exchange, let's break down what exactly a real estate investment trust, or a REIT, is. A real estate investment trust like UMH Properties is a company that owns and typically operates income-producing real estate or real estate-related assets. REITs were established by Congress in 1960 to allow individual investors to earn a share of the income produced through commercial real estate ownership without having to buy commercial real estate themselves. While UMH's business primarily focuses on manufactured home communities, REITs can also include office buildings, shopping malls, and resorts. When it comes to manufactured home communities, however, UMH has established itself as a staple in the space. The company, founded in 1968, operates 135 manufactured home communities containing approximately 25,800 developed home sites. These communities are located throughout the eastern half of the U.S., ranging from the mid-Atlantic to the southeast. UMH also has an interest in and operates 2 communities in Florida through a joint venture with Nuveen Real Estate. UMH has a long and distinguished history here at the New York Stock Exchange, which includes 2 different listing dates. UMH Properties, operating at the time as United Mobile Homes, originally listed on the American Stock Exchange back in 1994. The company's shares, which had traded over the counter since 1985, began trading under ticker symbol UMH on January 5th, 1994. Continuing to trade on the American exchange through its acquisition by the NYSE in 2008, UMH Properties applied to transfer its listing to the NYSE in February 2012. The shares began trading on the big board on March 2, 2012, retaining the company's longtime ticker symbol, UMH. UMH Properties, Inc. was founded by Eugene Landy in 1968 in New Jersey and operated as United Mobile Homes until adopting its current name in 2006. In 1992, the company converted to a real estate investment trust. UMH is no stranger to the Bell podium here at the exchange. On March 24, 2009, UMH Properties joined the NYSE to hold its board of directors meeting and concluded the day by ringing the closing bell. And on January 19, 2017, the NYSE welcomed officials and guests of UMH Properties in Monmouth Real Estate in celebration of their 50th anniversary of founding. Eugene Landy, chairman of the board for both companies, rang the closing bell. And on August 25, 2020, UMH visited the exchange in celebration of its commitment to providing quality, affordable housing. Sam Landy rang the opening bell. Finally, UMH was here less than 2 years ago, ringing the opening bell on February 22, 2022. And now we have an action-packed show for you this morning, and Sam Landy will not only deliver remarks from Freedom Hall momentarily, but he will tell me exactly what UMH has in store in 2024.
Good morning, greetings, and welcome to the New York Stock Exchange. My name is Tara Jejic. I head U.S. listings for the New York Stock Exchange, and on behalf of Ron Boehlert, Ian, Pat King at Citadel, who's your designated market maker, and the entire NYSE, we want, with privilege, to welcome UMH Properties to the NYSE to celebrate 55 years of founding. So over those 55 years, you've grown, you've expanded to new geographies, you've created new home ownership opportunities, you've created communities, you've created fun. So with 135 manufactured property communities representing almost 26,000 home sites, you don't just own them, you operate them. And with them, that is tremendous. And you're giving hope and optimism in building this fun within those communities, which is really spectacular. So today is a great example of partnership with the New York Stock Exchange. In just a few moments, we're going to go down and open a $35 trillion market, followed by a brunch in this room, and then you're going to have a board meeting just downstairs. And we appreciate the partnership over the years. So last year, you participated in our Investor Access Program. You are here to celebrate your 50th anniversary of founding, joint bells with Monmouth Properties. So we really do feel like you're a part of our community and love that you're building communities out. And these photos are spectacular. A little bit about the New York Stock Exchange before I invite Sam up to the stage. So when you walked in the building, if you looked over your shoulder, there's a giant statue of George Washington. That's where our first president took the oath of office. It's also where Congress and the Supreme Court met for the first time. The Bill of Rights was ratified. It was also the site of the first capital of the United States. And it's also where Alexander Hamilton penned the report on the federal credit, which really set the stage for our economy and our country to grow up together. The New York Stock Exchange was founded just 3 short years later in 1792, and we are 231 years young, and really it's the privilege of working with companies like you that makes our jobs so special. So without further ado, Sam Landy, I'd like to welcome you up to say a few remarks.
It's great to have all of you here, and I'm going to begin with a prayer for our government that is protecting all of us, our military service members, our veterans that are standing behind Israel, and our prayer for the 133 hostages and the Israeli Defense Forces that protect us all from terrorism. And today is, we're celebrating the 55th anniversary of UMH. We're thanking all of you for all the work you do behind the company. My father, our chairman, Eugene Landy, is here. He founded the company 55 years ago. We're very proud to provide quality, affordable housing through manufactured homes for sale and rent. We have Chris Lindsay and Gina Beasley here. Chris has been here almost the whole time. And when she does her annual training meetings, she tells everybody how she came to a Memphis Mobile City as a single mother of 3 children, how important it was to her to have the job managing the community, to be able to earn a living for those children, and then to be able to afford her house, and how important that was to have a quality community, a good place to live as a single mother of 3 children. And that's an example to us for what we do today for over 23,000 families in our communities, and we work with the New York Stock Exchange to expand year after year, buying turnaround communities, building expansions, adding 1,000 rental units per year, selling over 200 manufactured homes. It's an incredible job to do each year. Brett Taft, our Chief Operating Officer, not only does a great job of that, but he's raised a family with 3 beautiful children while he's doing it. Our directors are here, our vice presidents. We've brought, all of you here to celebrate what we've done, but even after 55 years, our chairman, Eugene Landy, always tells us there's more to do, and he's given us a directive of 5 or 6 additional things to do, which include continuing our work with GSE financing to provide our residents with even better home loans and even lower cost rental units, to obtain solar on the roof of the houses so that our homes become even more energy efficient and our residents may have net zero utility bills, to work on amending the Opportunity Zone Fund law so that we can build more communities in opportunity zones, and we can build communities there, rehabilitate communities, and we want to break the barrier that doesn't yet recognize UMH's social mission. In fact, 100% of our income meets HUD's definition of affordable housing. And when we break that barrier, we believe we can obtain even lower cost financing for our residents, which reduces the amount of money they pay for their finance charges and the rents. So we've done incredible things over 55 years. We look forward to our future. All of you are a part of this. My wife, Lori, my children, my family, and the UMH team, that's our family. Nellie, who put this all together, Robin, who assists her. It's a great company, and the people who are here today are talking to me about, the wonderful people they're meeting here today. So we're extremely proud of all of you. It's your day to celebrate. We have our deans of Widener University, Delaware Law School, School of Law here. We have our directors and our attorneys, and we're very proud of all of you. So thank you.
Wow. Thank you for the words of encouragement, hope, and optimism. Before we go down to the trading floor, it is a tradition at the New York Stock Exchange that we would like to present you with a few gifts. So Eugene, I welcome you up to the stage as well, please. After 55 years, I think the least we can give you is a medallion to celebrate your achievements here. So, Sam and Eugene, I present you with this medallion, which we struck with the date and your names today to celebrate 55 years of founding. On the front of the medallion, you'll see the pillars that you recognize when you walk in on our facade of our building. We believe they represent transparency, opportunity, sustainability, capital, innovation, and community. And we really have high regard for the fact that you're within our NYSE listed community. And for everyone here, we have a smaller version of Eugene and Sam's medallion, this coin. We hope that you slip this in your pocket and think of how important this day is to be together and to be celebrating this huge achievement and milestone. I also have one other gift you can set. Oh, yep, one picture. Wonderful. You can set those down. And I also want to present you with this. Here, I'll scoop back. Great. Your certificate of 55 years that you display this. We hold New Jersey prominently. Great. And, think about the partnership that we have. If we can be a resource in any way, we love to see growing. Great.
Well, we just heard from Tara Zetzik along with Sam Landy. And it's always wonderful to see the family members of the UMH team as well as the group that is ringing the opening bell. So momentarily they will be coming down to the trading floor to kick off today's session. Now, one of the biggest economic stories of 2024 will be the Fed's trajectory on interest rates. Last month, the Federal Reserve policymakers concluded that inflationary pressures were easing and held rates steady. The Fed minutes signal that the central bank expected to cut rates 3 times in 2024. Now, these decisions will undoubtedly affect the housing market. And according to Freddie Mac, the 30-year fixed-rate mortgage plummeted more than a percentage point between late October and mid-December. However, since then, rates have remained relatively unchanged. The 30-year fixed-rate average in the U.S. sits at 6.62% as of January 4th. And joining me now is Andy Walden, VP of Enterprise Research Strategy for ICE Mortgage Technology. Andy, so great to have you here in New York.
Thank you. Appreciate you having me.
Well, first and foremost, we all know that 2023 was a very challenging year, especially for the American home buyer when it comes to the housing market. So are you more positive when it comes to the outlook for 2024?
I think we are, and you just talked about the reasons why, right? The Fed has started to show signs of easing throughout this year. It should lead to interest rates easing, and so if we look at the interest rate forecast and how that's shifted over the last couple of months, provides a little bit brighter outlook for 2024. We've already seen refinance incentive pick up a little bit. throughout the year, we could see some of those borrowers that chose to jump in and marry the house and date the rate, as it was said last year, may have some opportunity to refinance as it gets in the late stages of this year. And home affordability has improved a little bit entering this year as well. It's at its best level since May. Still a challenge, but moving in the right direction, and that's the expectation for 2024 as well.
And Andy, of course, when it comes to the housing market, supply and demand, in addition to rates, that plays a huge part. So what do you expect to see moving forward?
Yeah, and I mentioned that the demand side has started to improve. Home affordability has started to improve over the last couple of months. That's the expectation for the remainder of this year. You've started to see purchase demand come back with that. We're still at about a 39% deficit versus where we were pre-pandemic levels. Supply has started to improve as well over the last few months, almost universally across the country. 98% of markets have seen their inventory levels improve. So we're in a kind of a unique position right now where 40% short on supply, 40% short on demand. It's led to kind of neutral home prices right now, but the story of the 2024 housing market is really going to be told by where do interest rates go here over the next few months as we move into the traditional spring home buying season. Do we see a leg down and demand return and home prices heat back up like they did last spring? Or do we see a leg up in rates and it kind of soften things out and leads to a little bit easier home price environment this year? So a lot of that's going to be dictated by simply where the bond markets go and where 30-year rates go over the next couple of months.
And Andy, that leads me to my next question, which is about homeowners' level of equity. Yeah. So according to a recent ICE Mortgage Monitor report, you showed that American homeowners' level of equity are close to some of the highs that were reached at the height of the market back in 2022. Yeah. So how much equity do American buyers actually have access to right now?
Yeah, and that's been one of the beautiful byproducts of what's happened in the housing market over the last 4 to 5 years. Obviously, those rising home prices have put those challenges on home affordability. But they've led to record levels of growth in 2022, and we're still back to those levels, or back near those levels as we sit here today. The average mortgage holder, if we look at our metric that we call tappable equity out there in the market, there's $10.5 trillion in the market at large. The average mortgage holder in the U.S. has about $200,000. Now, they've been a little bit reluctant to utilize that equity because it's become more expensive in a higher interest rate environment, but that does provide some opportunity as we move into later stages of 2024. If the Fed begins to ease, if 30-year rates start to come down, we could see borrowers start to move back in that direction and some increased equity utilization and equity lending as well.
And Andy, before I let you go, I do want to ask you about the future when it comes to mortgage and housing markets. So depending on whether you see the glass half empty, glass half full, there's still some out there who might be forecasting a recessionary environment.
Sure.
So what would a potential scenario like that look like for mortgages and the housing market?
Yeah, and when we look at mortgage performance right now, the strength is still there. We're still near record lows in terms of overall mortgage delinquency rates. If we look at the number of borrowers that are 3 or more payments past due on their mortgage, it's the lowest since 2006. We still have widespread forbearance and loss mitigation protections among those borrowers. And as we mentioned, they're still equity rich among those borrowers as well. And so near-term risk of default and foreclosure activity out there in the market is relatively low. But 2024 is expected to be a transitionary year, right? We're already starting to see some pressure put on lower credit score borrowers in the lower end of the market. Some of those more recently originated loans are starting to see a little bit of pressure as well. And so, the expectation as we move through 2024 is probably more conversations around delinquency in this space and probably beginning to kind of bottom out for this cycle and start to see some of that performance trend a little bit higher.
Well, Andy, a lot of moving parts as well as a lot of indicators to keep our eyes on. So thank you so much for joining me today.
Appreciate it. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. And UMH Properties is getting set to ring the opening bell. Here's how the company is giving manufactured housing a new look.
Hello. Let us show you the new look of manufactured housing with communities operated by UMH Properties Incorporated. Our industry is continuously innovating in improving lives with attainable housing for home ownership or rent. A benefit of manufactured housing is the variety of customizable options with state-of-the-art high-performance windows, kitchens, bathrooms, and living rooms. Factory-built homes proudly provide environmentally friendly construction. A prefabricated home eliminates the excess waste involved in the on-site home building process. Manufactured housing factories build to exact dimensions and feature increased insulation for efficiently heating and cooling your home. The EPA reports that manufactured homes have a lower average utility cost and provide a more comfortable living environment, maintaining consistent temperatures. Manufactured housing communities offer a neighborly atmosphere and stronger sense of community. Residents share amenities like swimming pools, fitness gyms, clubhouses, and playgrounds. UMH communities have a professional maintenance team that keep our communities clean and well-maintained. UMH's maintenance team offers 24/7 service to ensure the community's power, water, and roads are suitable for our residents. A benefit of manufactured housing communities is freeing up funds that our residents would otherwise spend on land management. Our trained mortgage professionals at UMH Sales and Finance Incorporated offer competitive financing options that make UMH Properties a place where housing dreams come true. UMH Properties continues to evolve and satisfy the need for affordable housing across the nation.
Welcome back to NYSE TV Live. UMH Properties is an established name in the REIT space. Joining us to talk about the real estate sector and investing in it is Alex Petty, who's President and Director of Research and ETFs at Hoya Real Estate Capital. Great to have you here. Thank you for joining me.
Yeah, no, thanks for having us.
Well, first and foremost, before we dive into navigating recent volatility, tell me about how Hoya Capital is helping people invest in residential and commercial real estate.
Sure. So us at Hoya, we're really a REIT-focused research firm. That's kind of the roots of our firm. We now manage 2 real estate ETFs, Homes, which launched in 2019. We're now near our 5-year mark, which is a housing-focused fund, really trying to blend REITs and home builders and try to create kind of a one-stop shop for the housing market. And then in 2021, we launched REIT, spelled R-I-E-T is the ticker. And that's really an income-focused product. Kind of that was kind of based on the feedback of that, that people invest in REITs mostly for the yield, for the income, and so REIT was really designed to kind of target that yield and to kind of try to create as diversified and balanced of an investing basket as possible.
And Alex, I want to learn more about the Hoya Capital Housing ETF. How does it capture some of the major themes that are currently taking place?
So with Homes, what we really try to do is capture the entire housing market. So it's kind of split into four major groups, and so it includes REITs and home builders. And so the funds prior to Homes, you really had to choose whether you wanted to invest in a pure REIT fund or a pure home builder fund. Homes is different in that it kind of captures both home builders and REITs, but it also includes real estate services companies like Zillow, Redfin, et cetera, and real estate mortgage companies, real estate lenders, the building construction, the building retailers, and really what we kind of try to do is kind of have every housing market in this single one-stop shop and an ETF wrapper.
Okay, Alex, well, we are approaching the opening bell, so thank you so much for joining me, Alex Petty, and I hope to hear from you in the future. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
And now we are about to see the opening bell this morning for UMH Properties, so get ready for the opening bell this morning. We're back on the New York Stock Exchange trading floor, and joining me now is Jay Woods, Chief Global Strategist at Freedom Capital Markets. Jay, good morning. Thanks for joining me.
Hey, Remy, good to be with you. How are you?
I'm doing well. We're in the middle of the first full trading week of 2024, and we had quite a rocky start. So what do you make of what's happened so far?
Yeah, well, let's put it in perspective. The end of 2023 was a phenomenal run. The Russell 2000 itself was up almost just over 25%. So what I'm seeing is a natural pullback after a strong rally in what was a great finish to 2023. Yes, we want to start the new year off right, but the rally continues to broaden out. We see utilities and healthcare lead. So I'm optimistic about what's to come. And yes, this is our first full week back. So now everyone's back and we're getting our feet under us. We should be okay.
And Jay, since you mentioned that it is indeed the first full trading week of the year, a lot of conferences are starting to take place. But what's on top of investors' minds right now?
Well, you talk about conferences. Everyone wants to hear about what comes out of the Consumer Electronics Show in Las Vegas. I mean, every year there's always this one big story. AI is everything that everyone's watching. So the tech sector has been in spotlight with that. But then we have economic data coming out. Tomorrow we have the CPI, which has been the one economic indicator that really causes the most volatility in the market. So we'll keep an eye on that, see how inflation is being tamed by the Fed, and that will lead us to speculate what happens at the next Fed meetings. Will the cut happen in March as expected, or do they have more work to do? They delay. So that's interesting. And then earnings season kicks off on Friday. So a lot of things to look forward to. Today is like that calm day before the proverbial trading storm happens later this week.
And Jay, you mentioned the central bank, the Federal Reserve, earnings, as well as economic data releases. And of course, those CPI, PPI figures are going to be important. But we got that jobs report last week. So how much do you think is already priced in? And what sorts of surprises could be catalysts as we move forward to the rest of this month?
Well, surprises, catalysts would be something on the jobs front. I think the jobs data remains very resilient. The labor market has not really had that uptick, which is good. You don't want to see people losing their job, but people expected the unemployment numbers to rise a little bit, and the jobless claims remain strong. And that leads to the narrative that maybe, the Fed's work hasn't been done yet, and they can leave rates where they are because the economy is being able to digest that. I think earnings are going to drive the bus. There's not one economic data point that's going to just snap our fingers and say, oh, the Fed has to pivot in one way or another. I think look at the financials. JP Morgan, they report. Bank of America reports on Monday. Then you have Goldman, Morgan Sachs the following week, and the regional banks. The regional banks are still back at those March levels before the regional banking crisis. They have a lot to reverse. It's going to be interesting when a PNC and a Key Bank report next week. So I think earnings are going to be the story over the coming weeks, and then you'll have some economic data points. The Fed meeting to watch isn't the one at the end of January, it's the one in March. That's when we'll really be watching to see what happens.
And Jay, before I let you go, since we're about to embark on the official start of earnings season at the end of this week, in terms of earnings, what are you looking for when it comes to some of the forecasts, as well as the analysis coming out from equity research analysts?
Yeah, I think the guidance is the key. When you talk about the banks, you want to make sure that the loans are starting to pick up. Mortgage rates have dipped. Let's see some activity there. When it comes to the tech stocks, let's see if they can continue those earnings. Let's see how the pipeline is. Let's see what they do. A lot of companies lowered the bar. I think of a company like Nike that, they kind of threw in the towel at the end of the year and said it's tougher than we expected. Let's see what some of these big companies say going forward. I don't think it's going to be gloom and doom. I think the bar has been lowered. We'll start to clear that bar, and I'm optimistic about what's to come.
Well, Jay, great to have you join us this morning, and thank you for all of your insights.
Thank you. Always fun.
And that was Jay Woods of Freedom Capital Markets. Momentarily, we will be speaking with UMH's CEO, Sam Landy. But first, let's take a look at ICE's professional services consultants and see at every stage of their lending process how they can make recommendations that keep you on the road to success.
As part of the family of Encompass users, let me give you something to think about. Maybe you have a problem. Maybe you don't have a problem. Or consider this. It could be possible you have a problem you don't even know about. Problems can come from lots of places, even good places you wouldn't expect. Like expanding your business, an acquisition, adding a channel, managing new workflows, or updating processes. But it's almost certain your problems come from a place of frustration. Whether that place comes from too much success or just wanting to drive improvements, ICE Mortgage Technology can help. Our experts can help you look at every stage of your interaction with Encompass and the way your business manages workflows. And then we can make recommendations to get you on the road to more success. Whether it's additional admin support, better Encompass configuration, or workflow efficiency improvements, we're here to help you take your business to the next level. Anytime you're ready. Contact us today to get on the road to more success.
Welcome back to NYSE TV Live. UMH Properties just rang the opening bell here at the New York Stock Exchange, and joining me is company CEO Sam Landy. Sam, great to have you here today.
Thank you for having me. Great to be here.
Well, congratulations on the opening bell this morning, but more importantly, congratulations on celebrating your 55th anniversary here at the New York Stock Exchange. So tell me how meaningful this is for you.
Oh, it's incredibly meaningful. We're very proud of what we do, providing quality, affordable housing through manufactured homes in communities for sale or rent. We get to celebrate with our great banks, our great team, our lawyers, all the advisors who help us, all our team members, UMH vice presidents are here, people who've been with us as long as 55 years. So it's just an incredible honor to be here, and we're so thankful that the New York Stock Exchange does all it does for us, allows us to raise money so we can continue to grow and build a great company.
And Sam, your company has excelled when it comes to providing quality, affordable housing using manufactured homes. And of course, you've been through many market cycles. So can you tell me how much has demand for your services increased at a time when prices are sky high across the country?
Affordability is the major issue, and affordability in housing especially is the major issue. The factories build us great houses. We're working on even putting solar panels on the roof to reduce people's energy costs. Affordability is the issue, and our rental homes, for as little as $1,000 per month, we can rent a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 1,000-square-foot house on a 5,000-square-foot lot. And people appreciate this so much that there's waiting lists everywhere. We have 23,000 home sites, 10,000 rental homes, and 95% rental home occupancy. So the acceptance of the product is fantastic, and we try to grow, hopefully, throughout the country.
And Sam, last but not least, UMH operates in over 10 states in the eastern half of the U.S. So what's on the horizon as we head into 2024?
So our business is predominantly rehabilitating communities, but also through our joint venture partner, Nuveen, we're building 3 new communities at this time. We seek to do more building of communities, more renovating of communities. We added 1,000 homes last year, and we have 3,500 vacant lots to continue to do that for the next 3 years. We have almost 3,000 of vacant acres of land to continue to grow, and that's the objective. The people need what we do. Employers are our biggest fan because they know that they need quality, affordable housing for their workforce, and we count on employers to help us get the approvals to build additional communities.
Sam, congratulations on the big day today, and thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you for having me. It's a great honor. Thank you.
And we will continue coverage of UMH's big day, but before that, a quick word from our parent company.
Around the world, the transition to a new energy economy presents a challenge for companies and investors. At ICE and the New York Stock Exchange, we facilitate the conversations to find solutions to complex problems. We gather a wide range of perspectives to help companies navigate the growing need to recognize climate risk as investment risk. We offer sustainability data and the world's most liquid environmental markets, so clients can measure, manage, and mitigate their risks. Wherever you are in your sustainability journey, we provide the tools and networks to help you identify risk, spot opportunity, and make more informed decisions.
And joining me now on the trading floor is UMH Properties founder and chairman of the board, Gene Landy. Gene, congratulations on the big day, and thank you for joining me.
Oh, I'm glad to be here. It's a wonderful group. The hospitality is terrific. And you have our drone videos of our beautiful manufactured homes.
Well, it's a big day for you as well as the rest of the team. You just rang the opening bell and you'll be celebrating here at the New York Stock Exchange throughout the day. But of course, UMH has a storied history and a proud history to talk about. So tell me first and foremost about some of the beneficial changes you've seen over the decades at UMH.
Well, UMH is pioneering in manufactured housing, and they've made terrific strides. The homes are modern, efficient, large. It's just a great product, and we're building homes. We add 1,000 homes a year, and the industry does 100,000 homes a year. We hope to double it. The number one social problem in the country is providing affordable housing. There's never been such a difference between buying and renting. All people can afford to do is rent, but our product is lower cost and higher quality, and we have a terrific future. And this is very important to us to get our story out and have us build homes for the next decade.
And Gene, you bring up a very important point. You've seen different market cycles in the housing market over the decades, but you're also no stranger to the Bell Podium here at the New York Stock Exchange. So tell me how important it is and what makes today so special, especially as you mark the 55th anniversary.
Well, the important thing is we build housing. 1,000 homes cost $250,000 to $250 million to build 1,000 homes, and we have to get the capital to do it. We have to buy the land, we have to build the site, we buy the home from the manufacturer, we have to market it, we have to finance it for the customer. All that takes capital, and we've had a tremendous run raising capital, starting with maybe $5 million 55 years ago, and today we are a $1 billion capital company with over $2 billion in assets. And we continue every day to raise capital because this is a great problem and we have to continue to build housing.
And Gene, we know that capital is important, but it also takes an incredibly committed team when it comes to growing UMH. So what's your message to everyone who's watching out there today?
Oh, the people are everything. We're a real estate trust, but it's people. And the best thing we can do is put a great group of people together to solve the problems. It takes a great deal of effort. It takes the help of Congress. It takes bankers and lawyers and everyone to put it all together, to raise the money, to build it. And we think we have a tremendous team. People have been with us for 30, 35 years. It's a great organization, and we continue to grow, so there's a future with everybody working for the company. And it's a real pleasure to be here at the Stock Exchange because this is where we raise the capital to do the job.
Well, Gene, you're an inspiration to many, so thank you so much for joining me on the floor today, and congratulations on the anniversary.
Thank you for having us. Your hospitality is wonderful.
Thank you, Gene. And now we will take a quick look at the NYSE Tech Summit. I'm on the trading floor and I am joined by UMH's Executive Vice President and COO, Brett Taft. Brett, good morning. Thank you for joining me.
Good morning to you, and we're very happy to be here.
Well, congratulations. It's a big day for UMH. So first and foremost, UMH ended last year, 2023, with a market cap of over $1 billion. So what areas of the business are you focused on as we head into the rest of this year?
Okay. Yeah, so over the past 10 years, we've acquired about 90 properties and 18,000 sites. We purchased those properties with average occupancy rates around 75%, so we're always working on filling those vacancies. Our portfolio occupancy rate now is about 86.5%. We plan on installing 1,000 rental homes into our communities, significantly increasing occupancy. We're always looking at acquisition and development opportunities. We'll see where the market goes and if we're able to execute on any of those. But the main priority will be filling our existing communities and continuing to drive earnings growth.
And Brett, as we look ahead, we know that we have been in a volatile housing market and we don't know what's in the future given that we don't have a crystal ball. But in terms of what UMH is doing to help clients, can you give us a little bit of insight?
Yeah, sure. UMH provides affordable housing. It's very much in high demand no matter what the cycle of the housing sector is right now. We rent homes for an average of $922 a month, and we sell homes for anywhere from $80,000 a home and up. So we think we can go out there, continue to help solve the affordable housing crisis. We think we've got an important mission, and we're well on our way to helping to solve the affordable housing crisis. So we look forward to doing that again. We're also very fair with our tenants. We implement about 5% rent increases where many of our competitors are much higher than that. And we're proud of the service we provide to our tenants while also helping shareholders achieve reasonable returns.
Brett, thank you so much for sharing your insights with us today. And of course, congratulations on the opening bell and enjoy your time here at the New York Stock Exchange.
Thank you very much. It was a great day. Yep.
And that will do it for us for NYSE TV Live. Thank you for joining me, and make sure to watch us as we head into the closing bell later on this afternoon. I'm Remy Blair. Thank you for watching.
Iconic brands speak for themselves. The strongest brands stand the test of time. We are so excited to welcome you to our community. Today is all about you.
We've never lost sight of what we're trying to do and deliver that mission.
Going through this experience with my partners and my families has been unbelievable.
We imagined something that didn't exist yet, and we believed that we could do it.
You're going to look back on this accomplishment as one of the finest you've ever done.
I want you to know that the best is yet to come.
Just a few minutes, we'll go downstairs to the legendary New York Stock Exchange trading floor to ring the opening bell. The history here, the tradition, it's just incredible for us to be at this moment.